All right, let's welcome our panelists today. First up, we have SABC digital news producer, Mr. Tsepiso Moche. Tsepiso, good morning to you.
Good morning, Alicia.
Morning. All right, before we get down to the digital news, we do have political analyst on the main set, Ms. Lebohang Peko, as well as media analyst, Mr. Melo Mahuleho. Ladies and gentlemen, what a pleasure to have you both. Good morning.
Good morning, Alicia.
All right, Tsepiso, take it away. What was the biggest hashtag of this week?
The biggest hashtag for this week, Alicia, was the Mandela book. Now, Alicia, this comes after a publishing company, Penguin, pulled off a book detailing the last years of former President Nelson Mandela, and that generated a lot of commentary. And the book, we must remember that it was pulled off after former statesman widow Tsepiso Moche complained together with Mandla Mandela, the eldest grandson of the former statesman, complained that the book violated the patient-doctor confidentiality, and that on its own generated a lot of commentary. And as you can see here, we have so many tweets from people reacting to the news that the book has been pulled off.
Let's look at those tweets. Tsepiso Mbongeni there says, I have a feeling that Mam Winnie Mandela was or is behind the authorization of the publishing of the book Mandela's Last Years. What does Vuyani Green say there?
Vuyani Green says the withdrawal of the Mandela book amounts to self-censorship. The aggrieved party should have interdicted the publishers beforehand. Hashtag Mandela.
And there's another one from Maroti Silailo says, Matigizela Mandela sent VJ Ramla Khan a note congratulating him on the book. So there's another suspicion that, Mamwin is behind it. What is Katleho saying there? Katleho
says, for the benefit of the curious, Dr. VJ Ramla Khan's book, The Mandela's Last Year, will now obviously be printed by backyard publishers.
Lebohang, what did you make of these developments this whole week?
It's just a reflection on the contradictions of Ndate Mandela's final years, where he was seen as public property, the contestations and the conflicts between his public persona and his private persona, the many factions within his family as well. There's the Madikizela Mandela faction, there's the Tsepiso Moche faction, there is the Mandla Mandela faction. There are different factions even within the clan. And I'm not sure whether banning this book is very helpful, and I think in general it has given it more petrol, more fuel, and it has made us much more curious. But also I think it's fair to understand that he was a public figure.
Absolutely.
That different people will have different perspectives of him, and also I think that the publishers surely would have taken this through their legal checks beforehand. So I think it's slightly disingenuous and cowardly of them to now distance themselves and to burn the book. And the whole idea of book burning and book banning in 2017 in South Africa is slightly distasteful.
All right, so let's move on to the next big hashtag of this week. What was happening at the EFF's birthday?
Now, Alicia, EFF was celebrating its 40th anniversary in KZN yesterday.
A sea of red.
Yes, and that also generated a lot of commentary, with many people saying they are happy that EFF, up to so far, it hasn't not been divided. They are united, and it is an alternative. And here, as you can see, Ace saying, watching the EFF birthday in KZN, I'm not impressed with the numbers, but slowly but surely we are getting there.
Menelis Ndwandwe says that at EFF South Africa after party was epic. Wow, we haven't seen pictures from that yet.
And this one is from Elton saying, happy birthday to you and the EFF.
William says they are trying to distort our message, but we surge ahead. Tell no lies, claim no easy victory. Melo, what did you make of the celebrations out in Durban?
Well, I think the EFF is doing very well for themselves. I mean, like, the one thing that the EFF has tried to avoid is become a regional and localized party like the likes of the UDMs and so on. I think the other thing that they've also strived to move away from is the trap that COPE fell into, where COPE didn't actually build structures on the ground, and that enabled them to flourish. So I think Julius has taken that to heart. And also, I think it was a very smart move. During the week, you'd have seen that he met up with the Zulu King. We're
going to talk about that later on in the show. So let's quickly go through the last digital story of this week before I let you go. What was happening at the FNB? My goodness.
Alicia, we're ending it on the sad note. Yesterday, the much anticipated Soweto Derby ended in a negative way after two people lost their lives. And this, some are saying it's because of the fake tickets that were sold before the match. Others are saying it's because some gates were not open, and as you can see, the visuals here are very disturbing.
Any tweets on this matter? Success, they're saying, why was there a stampede at FNB Stadium to begin with? Yes, I mean, surely not enough gates were opened at a sold-out event. May their souls rest in peace. Thank you so much, Success, for those contributions. Let's take the next one, Tsepiso.
The next one is from Bruno, saying, very sad day for football as a stampede outside FNB Soccer City Stadium in Soweto leaves 2 people dead and several injured.
All right, last but not least, Duchess says, last time I went to the derby at FNB 3 years ago, I had a gun pointed at my face and decided to never ever go again. Very interesting that these kind of things are happening where there's supposed to be a high level of security. Give our viewers that URL where they can get all these stories and more.
Alicia, viewers at home can catch this show and other shows on our YouTube channel by simply searching SABC Digital News. Alternatively, they can visit our news website www.sabc.co.za/news.
There it is. All right, after the break, we take a look at the birthday celebrations of the EFF that were held in Durban yesterday. That and more coming up here on Media Monitor. Do stay with us.